Welcome back to my YouTube channel, LC Coins World, where we journey through the fascinating world of rare and historical coins, one coin at a time. And today we will take a deep dive into a coin that carries with it the early identity of post-war Germany, the 10 Pfennig 1950 J coin issued by the Federal Republic of Germany, also known as FRG, and this small piece of copper-clad metal represents so much more than just a unit of currency because it tells the story of recovery resilience and national rebirth after one of the darkest chapters in world history. The 10 Pfennig coin minted in 1950 with the mint mark J, which indicates Hamburg was part of the first generation of coins that circulated in the newly founded Federal Republic of Germany after World War II and the division of the nation into East and West, and this was not just another coin but a symbol of stability in a country that was struggling to rebuild itself economically, socially, and politically, and for millions of Germans, the simple 10 Pfennig piece became part of their daily lives, a coin they would use for bread, milk, transportation, or perhaps just for saving in small jars as the country sought to climb out of devastation and embrace a new democratic order. The coin itself was designed to be practical and durable, made from copper-clad steel, which gave it a golden appearance without the expense of precious metals, which Germany could not afford at the time, and on the obverse of the coin you would find an oak seedling, a powerful symbol of new life growth and regeneration, chosen intentionally to reflect the rebirth of the nation from the ashes of war, and this image of a young oak tree sprouting from the soil resonated deeply with the people of West Germany, as it gave them hope that their society could once again grow strong and proud, while on the reverse side of the coin, the simple yet bold lettering of Bundesrepublik Deutschland Föderal, Republic of Germany, anchored the coin firmly in the identity of the new state that was established in 1949, just a year before this coin first entered circulation. To understand the full importance of the 1950 J10 Pfennig coin, we must place it within the broader context of German history at the time. The war had ended only 5 years earlier in 1945, and Germany was divided into East and West, with the Federal Republic of Germany being established in the Western zones under democratic governance, while the German Democratic Republic, GDR, arose in the Soviet-controlled East. And money was not just money anymore, it was a tool of ideology, identity, and international recognition, and the new West German coins had to reflect both stability for the people and legitimacy for the state. The 1950 10 Pfennig coin thus came into circulation at a time when Germans were experiencing the Wirtschaftswunder, the so-called economic miracle of West Germany, a period of rapid reconstruction and growth fueled by industrial rebuilding, Marshall Plan, aid, and the hard-working spirit of the German people, and coins like the 10 Pfennig were at the center of everyday commerce, being exchanged in countless small transactions in markets, shops, and businesses across the land. And when you held a 10 Pfennig coin in 1950, you were holding not only a piece of currency, but a piece of a national story about recovery and progress. Now let us dive deeper into the minting of this coin. The J mint mark identifies Hamburg, one of the historic mints of Germany, and Hamburg had a long tradition of coin production dating back centuries, so it was fitting that it would be one of the mints producing the new democratic German currency after the war. And the mintage numbers for the 1950 J10 Pfennig were significant because the new republic needed a huge supply of circulating coins to stabilize everyday commerce, and so millions were struck. But despite this wide circulation today, finding coins in uncirculated or mint state condition is much more difficult, as most of these coins were heavily used in daily life. Collectors value the 1950 J10 Pfennig not just for its age but for its historical context. The coin marks the very first decade of West Germany's new currency system, which replaced the occupation currency and helped re-establish economic confidence. And for older generations, this coin brings back memories of post-war childhoods, rebuilding homes, shopping in local markets, and gradually seeing prosperity return to the nation. And for younger collectors today, it offers a tangible connection to a pivotal time in German and European history. From a design perspective, the oak seedling became one of the most recognized motifs on German coins for decades, symbolizing growth, resilience, and a connection to German tradition, since oak trees had long been associated with strength and endurance in German culture. And so the designers of the new currency used this symbolism as a way to inspire trust and pride among citizens, and this symbolism would carry on through later issues of Pfennig coins well into the 1990s until the introduction of the euro. When it comes to the value of the 1950 J10, Pfennig coin collectors today look at several factors: condition, rarity, and historical significance. While common circulated examples may be worth only a modest amount, perhaps just a few cents above face value. The real interest lies in high-grade examples, coins that were preserved in mint state condition or proof-like strikes, which can fetch significantly higher prices at auctions and among numismatists. Some rare die varieties and errors, such as misstrikes or off-center coins, can also add tremendous value and make the 1950 J10 Pfennig a fascinating collectible. But beyond monetary value, the true worth of the 1950 J10 Pfennig coin lies in its story, because it embodies the optimism of a nation starting over the resilience of its people and the creation of a stable democratic identity in the shadow of war and division. This coin circulated, where we journey through history one coin at a time. Today, we will take a deep dive into the 5 Pfennig coin of Germany, minted in 1950 with the D mint mark. This coin belongs to the early years of the Federal Republic of Germany, also known as the FRG, and carries with it not just monetary worth, but a story that reflects the resilience, rebuilding, and transformation of a nation emerging from the devastation of World War II. When we speak of German coinage from the early post-war period, we are talking about a currency system that was not just about trade and commerce. It was about identity, stability, and the rebirth of a society that had endured some of the darkest chapters in modern history. The 5 Pfennig coin, issued in 1950, stands as an artifact of that time, a small piece of metal that tells us about politics, economics, culture, and national spirit. The coin itself was struck in brass-clad steel, measuring 18 millimeters in diameter and weighing around 2 grams. It bears on its obverse side the stylized oak seedling, a symbol deeply rooted in German tradition and history. The oak tree has long represented strength, endurance, and growth, and by placing the seedling on this coin, Germany was sending a subtle message of regeneration and a hopeful future. The oak seedling was an image of the country growing again from the ashes of destruction. On the reverse side of the coin, we see the simple yet effective inscription Bundesrepublik Deutschland, the official name of the Federal Republic of Germany, along with the denomination 5 Pfennig and the mint mark D, which represents the Munich Mint, one of the principal mints in post-war Germany. To understand the historical value of this coin, we need to look back at the monetary reforms of 1948, when the Deutsche Mark was introduced, replacing the Reichsmark and stabilizing the shattered German economy after years of hyperinflation, shortages, and a devastated infrastructure. The Deutsche Mark became a cornerstone of the economic miracle that followed in the 1950s and 1960s, and the 5 Pfennig coin played a very real role in the everyday lives of citizens. It was used to buy bread stamps, bus fares, and little necessities of life, small in value yet important in its function. In 1950, Germany was still under the watchful eye of the Allied powers, but the foundations of sovereignty were being laid. The Federal Republic of Germany had just been established in 1949, and coins like the 5 Pfennig were among the first tangible symbols of this new republic. They represented not only currency, but also legitimacy and independence. For the German people, the 1950 D mint coin in particular has significance because of its high mintage figures, which reached into the hundreds of millions, making it a common coin at the time. Yet today, collectors seek well-preserved pieces, high-grade examples, and coins with sharp details. But there is more to this coin than just its design and circulation. When we explore numismatic history, we must ask what deliberately it symbolized: both continuity and renewal. Germany had used oak motifs for centuries in its coins, medals, and heraldry, but this was a seedling, not a mighty oak tree. It was a young, fragile shoot full of potential, but not yet fully grown, just like the new republic in 1950. Economically, the 5 Pfennig coin might seem small, but in the context of post-war Germany, every coin mattered. Wages were modest, savings were scarce, and coins like the 5 Pfennig circulated constantly. They were in the pockets of school children who bought candy at kiosks, in the wallets of workers who paid tram fares, and in the purses of housewives carefully budgeting food expenses. These Coins became part of the rhythm of rebuilding a normal life. Numismatically, the 1950 D5 Pfennig coin is significant because of its place in a long series. The FRG continued issuing the 5 Pfennig coin until the introduction of the euro in 2002, which means that the denomination had a lifespan of over 50 years during this time. Small changes in minting techniques, metals, and mint marks created a vast area of study for collectors. But the earliest issues, like the 1950 D, are especially prized because they mark the very beginning of this journey. Now let us consider the condition, rarity, and value of these coins. While most 1950 D5 Pfennig coins are common in circulated grades, finding them in mint state condition is far less common. Uncirculated examples with full luster, sharp strikes, and no wear can command strong premiums in the collector market. Additionally, certain errors, such as off-center, strikes, die cracks, or planche flaws, are rare but highly sought after by specialists. The coin also opens a window into broader historical themes of the time. West Germany was aligning itself with Western powers, joining organizations such as the European Coal and Steel Community, which would later evolve into the European Union coins, like the 5 Pfennig were not just economic tokens, they were also political statements. By minting its own currency, West Germany was asserting its independence from the occupied past and its role as a sovereign nation in the new Europe. When we think of this coin today, we must also remember the human stories behind it. For the older generation, it recalls memories of childhoods spent in the 1950s and 60s buying small treats. With a handful of Pfennigs for younger collectors, it offers a tangible link to history, an object that was once held by millions and now survives as a relic of resilience and rebirth. So in today's video, we will spend time not only examining the technical details of the 1950 D5 Pfennig coin, but also exploring the broader history of Germany. In the early post-war years, we will discuss the design symbolism, minting process, circulation patterns, collector value, and historical context. By the end of this journey, you will see that even the smallest coin can tell the largest story. A story of a nation striving for stability, rebuilding trust, and laying the foundation. First up, we have a 1974 D Washington quarter that looks like it's been hiding in the bottom of an old tackle box for decades. The surface is covered in heavy black toning and uneven patina with deep wear across Washington's profile. Most of the fine details, like his hairlines and the crisp lettering, are almost gone. Yet, this coin tells a story that makes collectors lean in closer. You can see pits and rough texture across the fields, a sign it's lived through years of circulation, possibly rattling around in countless hands since the Reagan era. Now, here's the surprise. Even in this extremely worn condition, certain 1974 D quarters can command serious attention if they have the right traits. This year's Denver Mint run had its share of striking anomalies, slightly misaligned dies, weak strikes, and even rare double. The obverse varieties that only reveal themselves under magnification. Add in unusual patina or eye-catching toning, and suddenly what looks like a beat-up piece of change can spark a bidding war. The reason mint tags from this period are still high, but finding one that survived with a dramatic, natural black tone, especially if paired with an error, is far less common. Collectors love coins that combine history, rarity, and visual character, and this one ticks all 3 boxes. For a standard circulated 1974 D, you might expect only face value, but if yours shows an identifiable error or dramatic natural dark toning like this, values can start climbing. In well-preserved mint state examples, prices can hit $1,000 or more for certified gems. Add in a major error, such as an off-center strike or a strong double die, and you could be looking at $25,000 or beyond in high-grade examples. The black patina high character pieces in certified condition can even push past the $150,000 mark in the right auction, especially when too deep remind bidders lock horns. It's the kind of coin that makes you wonder how many like this have slipped away in spare change because no one took a second look. This is why experienced collectors always say condition tells the story, but rarity writes the paycheck. Next up, now we have the 1982 P Washington quarter without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, this coin doesn't scream fortune. The surface is dull, the silver Gray color has faded into a softer, almost chalky tone, and the high points have been flattened from years of use. Nicks and small scratches are scattered across both sides, the kind you'd expect from a coin that's been rattling around. In pockets, cash drawers, and change. Machines since the late 1970s. But here's the twist. While most people see a common quarter, the right 1982p mint mark can turn into a collector's payday. That makes jaws drop. You see, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these in 1982p, so in average condition, they're not rare, but survival in pristine state is another story. These coins saw heavy circulation, and very few were set aside right after minting. That makes untouched examples extremely scarce today. When one shows up in mint state, condition, bright luster, razor sharp. Details, no signs of wear, collectors will pay serious money. Top grade. Certified pieces have brought in between $3,000 and $5,000. But the real money isn't just in condition, it's in errors. This date is notorious for certain varieties that slip through the mint's quality control. Among them are off-C-center strikes, where part of the design is missing. Double-die obverse examples, where the lettering shows clear, doubling, and even the rare transitional plow errors where the coin was accidentally struck on the wrong metal. Blank. These are so few and far between that most collectors will go their entire lives without finding one in change. Imagine holding a coin like this, in circulated condition, and learning it has an off-center strike worth $15,000. Or picture a near-perfect uncirculated double die selling for $85,000 at auction. Now push that even further. A transitional error where the coin was struck on a leftover silver-clad planet instead of the proper copper nickel. Composition can send values soaring past $300,000. And yes, even a coin with honest wear can bring thousands if the error is rare enough and the demand is high. Looking closely at this 1982p mint mark quarter, you can see the years in its surface, the edges smoothed by countless hands, the fine details faded yet still enough character for a trained eye to recognize its potential. This is what collectors love. The mix of history, scarcity, and the thrill of the hunt. It's why even a coin that looks dull and tired might still deserve a second look under magnification. And that's the point. Coins like this prove that treasure isn't always shiny. Sometimes it's worn, understated, and hiding in plain sight in a jar of change or the bottom of an old purse. The next time you find a 1982p quarter, especially without a mint mark, flip it under the light, check for errors, and think twice before spending it. You could be holding a piece of U.S. minting history worth far